Well, those are clear visuals there. Of course, Xi Jinping, the president of China, they're shaking hands with President Cyril Ramaphosa as well. They're just about to head out and, of course, chat and speak to delegates just about cooperations, meetings, discussions that they've had. We are waiting, of course, the other presidents as well who will step forward in a moment or two to really begin and set the scene for what is the 10th BRICS summit here as well. So we'll unpack a whole lot of that as it continues to happen, and as soon as that plenary session begins as well, we will unpack it for you and give you those visuals straight as well. But I am joined as well just to keep getting communication and discussing just how this BRICS summit can perhaps move forward as well, and assisting South Africa and assisting trade relations with South Africa as well. Reginah Mhaule, who is the Deputy Minister at DIRCO as well, joining us. Thank you so much, Mama, for the time as well. I suppose my first question would be to you, the belief system around BRICS in itself has been quite key, and it's necessary, and it's been this massive euphoria, shall I say, for South Africa in getting to this moment. Now putting in the hard work and actually making sure that we get concrete evidence out of this is going to be quite serious. Do you think we're at that stage where we can get firm commitments beyond just what we received from China yesterday?
Thank you so much for this opportunity. Sure. But when we look back from 2013, when we were still 2 years old in BRICS, when we hosted BRICS for the first time, you can see the difference. This year's BRICS summit in South Africa is at a high level. Even the people on the street, they know that there's BRICS, and they are expecting as to what is it that we are going to benefit as the country from this summit. And that shows that there is a movement, there is a moving forward, because the decisions that were reached by the leaders of the states in the past, we see the fruits today happening. And the multilateral arrangement at BRICS level does not do away with the bilaterals, especially in each country of the 5 countries, yes, as well as other countries beyond the 5 countries, especially in Africa. You can see even the thing, BRICS in Africa. We take South Africa as the gate to Africa. And when BRICS is happening, this summit is happening here in South Africa, we take it is happening in South Africa, and it's not only going to benefit people of South Africa, but it's going to benefit people of Africa.
How? How do you plan on ensuring that it benefits the rest of the continent as well?
Remember, we have clustered our continent into 5 regions, and all the leaders of the 5 regions are invited. But in SADC in particular, we have invited all the leaders of SADC. They are here, and they will be part, even now as the president will be addressing and opening this, they will be part of that. And as South Africa, there is no way where we can grow and leave other neighboring countries behind, because that will cause a problem in any country who will want to develop alone. For an example, the BRICS Bank, the National Development, yes, Bank, has assisted South Africa on the Durban port. And that port is not meant to benefit South Africa alone. It's benefiting South Africa and SADC in general. So that it tells on its own that as these SADC countries have their own bilaterals and their own relations and their own trade with other countries, they benefit from the Durban port and other ports, because that Durban port is going to be the biggest, which will also share facilities with other ports within the SADC area. But at the same time, we want to see all countries of Africa developing as South Africa.
So those collaborative movements, those contracts, those agreements as well, and the arrangements with all emerging market nations, do you believe that we're sharing and giving off that message the right way? Are we giving off the emerging market story, not necessarily just the BRICS story?
Like every day, today we're not the same as yesterday.
True.
And every day we are growing. The way we do things, the way we communicate, the way we share information with other people, we are growing on a daily basis. And even now, this business forum that the president is going to address now, the business people that were there in 2013 are not, the number has increased. And the information has reached even many other business people. And now it's known that there is BRICS, and these are the benefits of the BRICS. There is a National Development Bank, and these are the benefits of the bank. And that takes development to another level in the continent, not necessarily in South Africa alone. And at the same time, the state visit by President Xi of China,
yes,
it tells a big story. It tells the commitment that China has in Africa. And if you can look, I can't mention the billions, but the billions that China has pumped into South Africa in terms of the bilaterals that we have, it shows that there is a commitment on the side of China. And again, yesterday alone and today, the state visit, there are those agreements that were not concluded, about more than 14, which were not concluded in the past, but now they are concluded and they are signed, because the two presidents are here to sign those agreements, and it shows that the level of relation is going further. And we are going to benefit not only South Africa, but both countries, especially on matters of skills development to our young people. Remember, if you can just reverse the wheel and go back to China 10 years ago, China was not as it was. You'll remember that we even call their products Hong Kong and all this, but now most developed market in the world, they source the products from China. And it tells that they are growing on matters of skills development on a daily basis, and that's what they must come and share with South Africa. And they are going to have an institution here in South Africa where young people of South Africa are going to be trained.
You speak about the skills transfer. Is that happening sufficiently? Are we taking in from our partners as much as we're taking from them in regards to this cooperation in itself?
Yes, I say we are moving forward. We are not static. The way we think, innovation is taking a center stage. Remember, even this year, we say BRICS in Africa, we look inclusive growth and shared prosperity in the fourth industrial revolution. And that skills transfer must also take into account the fourth industrial revolution. 10 years ago, the world was not as it was today, and the world is shrinking.
Yes.
We are coming together more than we used to do in the past, and that tells that the sharing of information, sharing of skills, and sharing of resources is taking a center stage in the world.
Certainly quite an interesting discussion. We'll continue it now as well. But as you can see, visuals there of President Cyril Ramaphosa and Chinese leader and President Xi Jinping as well, set to address delegates, media and officials as well in a moment or two. Minister Rob Davies on the podium as well, set to give a word of welcome as well and address the public here as well, just with regards to just what is expected to come out of this summit as well. The 10th BRICS summit in itself, speaking about cooperation and prosperity in what is the fourth industrial revolution as well. So how then does BRICS in Africa cement itself across the entire continent is the message I was just speaking to Mrs. Reginah Mhaule about as well, who is the Deputy Minister as well at the Department of International Relations and Cooperation. Mama, just again, let's perhaps continue the discussion here and just speak about ensuring that unilateral negotiations and agreements as well within each partner of BRICS. We need to strengthen those as well. We can clearly see that the relationship with China is quite strong. But is it the same with Brazil, with Russia and with India?
It depends upon a country, the commitment per country. But we are not saying that these other three countries, their cooperation and relation with South Africa is lesser than that one of China. It's just that the president of China is taking it upon himself. We have a very strong relation with Russia as South Africa, and we still have a strong relation with India and same as Brazil. We are going to take those bilaterals into a greater height, but the decisions that are going to be reached today in this summit until the 27th, when the heads of state are meeting, will take even those bilaterals into a higher level, but at the same time not undermining the multilateral part of it. You are correct that as a country, you must also have your own unilateral discussions within a country, so that how then do we take our relationship forward as a country, and that will help us a big deal.
Ms. Reginah Mhaule, who is the Deputy Minister at the Department of International Relations and Cooperation as well, there joining me as well. As I said, the heads of state are on stage right